North Shore Community College is a nationally designated as a military-friendly college. Our Veterans Center staff collaborates with many agencies to ensure the best of service and support to our over 300 student veterans. We're thrilled to have a decorated veteran as our commencement speaker. Our new Congressman, Seth Moulton, served 4 tours of duty in Iraq as a Marine Corps officer. Continuing his public service to our country, he was elected to Congress to represent the Massachusetts 6th District in 2014 and took office in January of this year. Congressman Moulton serves on the House Armed Services Committee, the House Budget Committee, and the House Small Business Committee in the 114th Congress. Congressman Moulton was born in and currently resides in Salem. He's a graduate of Phillips Academy, Andover, holds a Bachelor of Science in Physics from Harvard University, and a master's degree in Business and Public Administration from the John F. Kennedy School of Government and Harvard Business School. When he accepted our invitation to speak tonight, Congressman Moulton said he was excited as it would be his first college commencement address since taking office. We subsequently learned that the Congressman was the student commencement speaker for his Harvard undergraduate class, where he challenged his classmates to join him in committing to public service. I can't think of a more stellar example of a life devoted to service than our Congressman Seth Moulton. It gives me great pleasure to invite him to the podium to share his story and perspectives with you. Congressman Moulton.
Thank you very much. Thank you, President Gentili, and the distinguished members of the North Shore Community College faculty. It is a privilege to be here with you. And thank you to all the alumni, special guests, family members, and friends. Your presence makes this day that much more special. And most importantly, thank you to the class of 2015. You did it. It is an honor to be here with you, and let me say again, congratulations. It wasn't too long ago that I was sitting in the very place that you are today, a bright-eyed college grad ready to take on the world. And let's be honest, incredibly grateful that the exams, papers, labs, and presentations were in my past. There was also part of me that was apprehensive, unsure of what would come next, and sad to be losing the college community that I had come to love. I remember that like it was yesterday, too. So what's next? I won't tell you that I know the answers. My aim today is not to tell you the keys to success and happiness. I'm still trying to figure them all out myself. But instead to share 3 specific lessons that I've learned since graduating from college. First, embrace the unknown. In college, I was a physics major. As you can imagine, there wasn't exactly a pipeline from the Harvard Physics Department to the United States Marine Corps. But as I thought about what I wanted to do after graduation, nobody inspired me more than the 18 and 19-year-old kids who served on the front lines of our nation's military. I still feel that way today. Truthfully, my family was shocked by my decision. In fact, my mother, whom I love dearly, was asked by a Boston Magazine reporter how proud she was of me for joining the Marines. And her answer? I would only have been more disappointed in Seth, she said, if he had chosen a life of crime. Now, hopefully nobody here is hearing that this evening. She loved me, but she was scared. And I'd be lying if I told you that I wasn't a little scared myself. Being a Marine is not easy. There were days without sleep, days without enough food or ammunition, and the constant threat of IEDs, mortar attacks, and betrayal. It's been well documented how unprepared we were for the war. My platoon was given Humvees with sheet metal cutout doors in order to protect ourselves from roadside bombs. They didn't work very well. I decided to join the Marines before September 11th, so when I was sitting at my college graduation, I never could have imagined that I'd be leading a platoon in combat a couple years later. But even in a war I disagreed with, my work impacted the lives of other people every single day. I embraced my new job, even though it was completely unknown and a little frightening. And the job changed me. I never would have run for office if not for my experience in the Marines, so it made me the person I am today. The Marines gave me a purpose greater than myself, and finding purpose in your work is a great gift. So don't be afraid to embrace the unknown. It was also in Iraq that I learned my second lesson: friends come in unexpected places. When we made it to Baghdad during the invasion, my first translator was named Saddam Hussein. Now, I asked this college kid who was just about my age, "Is that really your name?" He looked down and he said, "Yes, it used to be really popular." Young Saddam Hussein, despite his suddenly unfortunate name, was a terrific translator and a good friend. But after a short while, he was reassigned and I was paired with a new translator, Mohammed. Mohammed was like me in so many ways, the same age, just finishing up college. We talked about American movies and his favorite actresses as much as we talked about the future of Iraq. Mohammed loved school and wanted to become a college professor, but he wasn't of the right religion to do so in Baghdad, and he was nearly killed for speaking out against Saddam Hussein. Not my translator, the other Saddam Hussein. Our first assignment together was to produce a news program. Moulton and Mohammed, it was called, which was sort of a news talk show for Iraqis south of Baghdad. You see, before the Americans arrived, the TV station had simply played tapes from the Ministry of Information. The Iraqis had no concept of a free media. Mohammed and I found interesting stories and asked the tough questions the Iraqi people wanted to understand, like why was there no electricity, or why would their government not listen to them? To our surprise, the show became quite popular, and Mohammed and I became minor celebrities. I even had to sign autographs in the street. Now, let me tell you, nobody asked me to do that in Salem or Lynn. Mohammed and I came from vastly different backgrounds, but we became incredibly close friends. And today, he is like a brother to me. Mohammed taught me so many things that I would never have learned growing up among my friends in Massachusetts. One thing I never received from my community back home was death threats, but for Mohammed, this became a regular occurrence for him and for his family because of his work with us Americans. So I helped him move to the United States. Mohammed had put his life on the line not only for his country, but for ours, and so it was the least I could do. He moved to Massachusetts right here and lived with my family while he navigated the incredibly complex immigration process. And if President Gentile will give me another 3 hours to speak, we can talk about all the things we need to do to fix that immigration process. So as I headed back for my fourth and final tour to Iraq, Mohammed moved into my brother's bedroom, and my family and the entire community embraced him. My mom taught him how to cook. My dad taught him how to shovel snow. And our friends taught him how to drive. And Mohammed taught our entire community about how special America truly is to the oppressed around the globe. And I am proud to say that today, Mohammed has achieved his dream of becoming a college professor. He teaches English at Thomas Nelson Community College in Virginia, but he still comes back to Massachusetts to spend holidays with my family. So, the second lesson is friends come in unexpected places. Which brings me to my third lesson about the power of community and the importance of service to that community. I embraced the unknown in Iraq. I embraced Muhammad as a new, if unlikely, friend. And then our community embraced Muhammad. That's the power of community to give. But we also have to ask, what should we give back? By virtue of the diplomas you will receive today, opportunities are about to open up for you like never before. You can and must take advantage of these opportunities. But remember that you have an obligation to give back to the community that made these opportunities possible. Go out and see the world, but come back and be tomorrow's leaders here at home. When I joined the Marines at 22 years old, I thought I would serve the country for 4 years, and that would be enough. I would check that box, and nobody would ever expect me to serve the country or the community again. But instead, the Marines taught me that I love to serve, and the experience instilled in me a commitment to serving my country for a lifetime. There are many of you who I know understand this appetite to continue to serve. In fact, this college has done a tremendous amount to invest in Lynn and the greater North Shore community. It has also placed a great emphasis on service and civic engagement. And I want to take a moment to specifically thank the more than 50 veterans graduating here today. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. And today, as you graduate and dare to dream, thank you for investing in yourselves. My call to continue to serve came shortly after leaving the Marines. I'll be honest with you, I had no plans to go into politics. I didn't grow up in a political family. I wasn't a member of a political club, nor had I even volunteered on a campaign. But I fought in a war where I felt I saw the consequences of failed leadership in Washington. I think Congress didn't know what they were doing when they got us into Iraq, and they didn't have our backs while we were there. There was one day, in fact, when a young Marine in my platoon looked up at me at the end of a tough day and said, "Sir, you ought to run for Congress someday so that this stuff doesn't happen again." Now, he used a Marine term for stuff, but I guess you understand what I mean. It seemed like a crazy suggestion at the time to someone who was and still is paying off his college loans. But that young Marine's words stuck with me. I couldn't complain about the status quo if I wasn't willing to do anything about it. When I decided to run for Congress in the summer of 2013, a lot of people told me that I shouldn't do it, and even if I did, that I couldn't win. After about 8 months of working hard every single day, building a team, collecting donations, shaking hands at local diners and train stations, holding countless community meetings, and still 6 months out from the election, we commissioned a poll. The poll showed us that all those critics were probably right. I was down 54 points. Even my own pollster told me that I should quit because it was statistically impossible to win the election. Yet from countless meetings I held across the district, I knew that our community agreed that our country was headed in the wrong direction. So while our strategy was wrong, I was confident that our vision was right. Elections are about your community as much as anything, because it's literally the community's decision. I heard a promise in this community, and I knew that it was something worth fighting for. This commencement marks a new beginning for all of us. It's a new beginning for me as a member of Congress, a freshman. It's a new beginning for all of you as new college graduates. Like Muhammad and me, I hope you find something worth fighting for in your community. So those are the 3 lessons I want to share with you today. Embrace the unknown, friends come in strange places, and find meaning and purpose in giving back to your community. But most of you probably won't remember that. Trust me, from experience, most of you will not remember what I've said here today. A few years from now, maybe even a few hours from now, depending on your evening plans, you'll probably forget it. But if you don't remember what I've said, take a moment right now to remember how you feel. The pride at your tremendous achievement, the opportunity for you beyond these walls, and the love of your family and friends, and yes, of this community that I hope you will return. Most commencement speeches are all about finding your dreams and doing what you love. And that's important, and I hope you will. But more importantly, I hope you truly find love and purpose in doing something to help serve others and our community. Our community wants you to do that. We need you to do that. And there are many of us out there who will be proud to do it with you together. My greatest mentor, the late Reverend Peter J. Gomes, often reminded my classmates and me of that in college. He said that college at its best teaches you not how to make a living, but how to make a life. Not just how to make a living, but how to make a life. My hope is that for each of you, you will make a decent living, but that each of you will make a truly wonderful life. How much of a living you make will be defined by how much you get for yourself. But how much of a life you make will be defined by how much you give to others. So take this new opportunity, take this new beginning, and embrace the unknown. Be open to the incredible people you will meet along the way. And remember to invest in the community that has invested so much in you. That is a life worth living, and it's a future that should make you proud. Thank you very much.
Seth, thank you so much for sharing your inspiring story and inspiring our students as well. A small memento again of the occasion.
Thank you.